This video is on how to easily set up your Model 3 Tesla to be able to accommodate more than one driver. It's a pretty cool car. We're really enjoying our Model 3 Tesla, and you could have as many as 4 drivers set up with very different settings that encompass many different things, like your steering wheel, how far out it goes, how high up it goes. Your seat settings, your side view mirror settings are all individualized to the person, but there's a lot of other options too. So if you go to this little symbol on your screen, click that, come over, you'll notice there's one called locks. So if you click on locks, you can see that there's spaces here where you could have as many as 4 different drivers. We have 3, and these are all different settings per driver. If you go up to the top, you can see now it's set up for me to be the driver, but I could press that one, and then I have other drivers I could put in here. If I went to my wife's name, we have very different heights, so if I press hers, then the car is going to adapt to her, which would probably crush me, so I'm going to turn that off. So I'm going to go back to my setting. And now I can look at some things to change. I can go over to my seat settings, which you know would be over to your left. Down here, you can control with this one the lumbar support. You can move it up and down, and you can move it in and out, make it more support or less support. Control the angle of your back seat here, and you can control the angle and the either forward or backward position of the thing you're sitting on with this one. And then once you have it where you want it, it'll ask you if you want to save it. So if you go to right now in Scott, if we want to change any of those settings, we can go to controls. On controls, we can do the lights. So I have it set for auto, so automatically the lights will come on, headlights will come on when it gets dark, which is great. Also, this is an automatic high beam, which is super cool when you are in a situation where there's no cars in front of you and you want to see better at night. The Tesla will automatically go to high beam, and it really changes your perspective at night. It makes night driving a lot safer. But if an oncoming car is coming towards you, or if you're coming up behind another car, the computer can sense that, and it'll turn off your high beams until you have a clear line of sight again where there's no cars in front of you, and it'll automatically turn on. It's very sensitive, and it works really well. So then you can press a button here to control folding of the mirrors. You can turn a child lock on or off, which would keep your back doors from being able to be open from the inside, so your kid won't accidentally open up the back door. You can do window lock and glove box. Press that one to open your glove box. And then here for windshield, you can control for off or how fast you want your windshield wipers to go, or you can do auto. So it has a really good auto system where if it senses there's any water, it'll automatically turn on your windshield wiper to a speed that works best for the amount of rain or water that's coming down. So if it's just mist, it'll just go every now and then, but if it's really driving rain, it'll go really fast. If you ever want to do that manually though while you're driving, if you want to control it, come over to your left stalk, and you can press in on this button right here. If you press all the way in, it'll shoot water and clear your windshield. It'll operate the windshield wipers maybe 4 times to clear out anything. And if you press in, I'll show you guys part way, you'll see a little display here, and then while you're driving you can manually tell it that you want to go to a certain setting. It's pretty cool. So I like to have it on auto for me. And then you can control your mirrors here. You can set your mirrors, your side view mirrors, exactly where you want them. And this would be your security recording. So right now it's active, meaning that when it's in Sentry mode, it'll record when there's some kind of movement coming towards your car, like somebody walks past or if somebody's trying to break in, your cameras will pick it up. You can turn that off if you want to. And then we have Sentry mode, which will activate your security system when you lock your car. And this one will allow you to change your steering wheel. I just turned off, I just lowered my brilliance of the display. I'm going to turn it back up. Having that on auto is good because it can tell how bright it should be. So at nighttime, it's going to not have it as bright, so it's not distracting and messing up your vision. It's really cool. Let's see, on this page, I think that's it for individualizing your situation. You go to pedals and steering, that's the next one. Just press that one. And now you can control how you want the car to behave. So I really like just standard for acceleration. If you went to chill, that would be a little bit more like a regular car. You know, Teslas are incredibly fast, especially with acceleration. I think that was one of the main reasons I bought the car after I just drove it. It's like, wow, this has incredible acceleration. But if you don't like that, you can always, for that particular driver, you can set it for chill. Steering mode, I like to have it on standard, but comfort would be kind of like more like the old American cars where when you turn the steering wheel, there's not this immediate response. Sport would be, you know, if you're a very fast driver and you want your steering to be very tight and quick. Standard, I think, is probably the way to go for most of us. Stopping mode takes a little bit getting used to, where you have what's called hold, and that's where when you come off of the accelerator, the car effectively is putting on its brakes. It's using the regenerative braking system, so it's actually charging your battery, which is really cool, but it almost comes to a full stop by itself. Usually though, if you're going pretty fast and you have to stop quickly, you will have to use your foot brake, but that's what hold means. And then the creep might be a little bit more what you're used to with your normal automatic transmission before you went to Tesla. So you could always go back to that. Might even be a good idea to do creep when you first start driving a Tesla, so it's not as foreign. But I do like the hold because it makes it easier to drive. You don't have to do as much use of the brake. Your car will just brake on its own when you come off the accelerator. You can use the slip start one if you were in a really slippery situation like sand or mud. You could remember that. You go to that icon, and then that'll bring up the one called pedals and steering. And then you come down near the bottom, you can use slip start. And that's about it for that page. And then charging. Oops, skip one, sorry, charging. Nothing too individualized there. That's going to be the same probably for all the drivers, unless you wanted to set up a specific time. If you were the one driving for a couple of weeks on end, when your car would do its charging, maybe at your home or at work. And then autopilot, click that one. So there's a lot of individualized things here. I like to use the auto steer system, so when I'm on the freeway, I like to activate it. So I'll come over to this stalk when I'm driving on the freeway. I'll click down twice. That'll activate not only the really cool cruise control, but also it'll take control over the steering wheel and keep me within the lane. It works really well. So I like using that. I have that on here. Full self-driving visualization preview is pretty fun. You can see what's going on with your car here. You don't really need that. You can turn that off if you want. It's not a big deal. You can have your set speed be set at the speed limit when you're on the auto self-driving, or you could have it at your current speed. I like the speed limit, so if I'm going too fast, maybe it'll go back to what the proper limit is. You can also have a percentage of offset, like you can say, I'd like to always go 5 miles an hour quicker than the speed limit, and you could click that plus button until you get 5 miles an hour faster. You have an automatic blind spot camera. That's really cool. So when you're going to turn on your turn signals, it's going to show you, if you turn left, you'll have a little display here that'll show you things on your left side, so you're less likely to, you know, turn into a car that you didn't see. You have a blind spot collision warning chime. So if you started to turn and there was something there, the camera will see it and instantly tell you. You hear a little chime go off. And then you have a speed limit warning. So if you're going much faster than the speed limit, you'll have it on your display. You could also have a chime go on to let you know you're going too quick. And then you can control when you want that to come on, that warning. Maybe if you're going 10 miles an hour over the speed limit, you could control that here, and that would give you the chime. There's a forward collision warning. It's pretty cool. If it thinks you're coming up on something pretty fast, it will give you a pretty loud alarm. You'll actually see it on your display. The car in front of you that it thinks you're going to hit will turn red and blink, and it's a pretty loud alarm system. It scares my grandkids when it goes off. But you don't have to use it. You can turn it off if it's somehow cumbersome to you. I think it's a good thing to have. I have it on medium, but early would be probably the most sensitive if it thinks you're coming up on something. Sometimes when I'm just driving though on a city street near my home and there's a parked car off to the side, it'll show the parked car, but sometimes the computer thinks that that's a stalled car that I'm about to hit, and it'll blink, blink, blink. So if that starts to bother you too much, you can always turn it off right here. And you have lane departure avoidance. You can turn it off if you want. You can have it be a warning. So if you're starting to veer out of your lane, the car will know it and it can warn you. If you're really worried about that, you could do the assist, and then it'll actually pull you back into the lane. I kind of like the idea of keeping good control over the car always myself, but wouldn't be a bad idea if you think that that happens too often. It might be safe to do the assist button. Emergency lane departure avoidance. You can turn that on. So blue is on. If you press it again, it would turn off. It always warns you though if you're about to disable it. I'm going to cancel that. Pretty cool. It reminds you that it's probably good to keep it on. Automatic emergency braking. If somehow you didn't see something coming up ahead of you and the computer saw it, it could automatically stop the car. So there's some debate about that, like will it stop for anything? Like will it stop for a person? Will it stop for a dog running out in front of you? And it'll certainly stop for something large. I would imagine that it would usually stop for a person, but I wouldn't fully rely on that. I would still, make sure you're the one being ready, but it wouldn't hurt to have that active. Obstacle aware acceleration. So if it thought something was flying at you and the computer determined that if it could accelerate, it gets you out of that problem, it'll take over and accelerate you out of that possible collision. Traffic aware cruise control chime. I believe that one, I'm not certain of that one. I think that one might be that you get the chime when you make your cruise control active. The green light traffic light chime is kind of nice if you're at a stoplight and it turns green and you're not fully paying attention. You'll get a nice little chime. It's not loud at all, and that can help you to just know that it's time to go instead of somebody honking at you. And then we have again locks. So I'm sorry, we skipped one. Let's go to locks. So those are the different people that would be driving your car. You have your child lock. We're not using that, but you could keep your back door on right or left locked when you get in. Window lock, so that would just keep your windows from being able to be rolled down if you didn't want the kids to roll down the windows. This is a good one to have, walk away door lock. So if you have your phone on you, which is basically your key, and you put your car in park and then you walk away at a certain distance, it'll automatically lock and turn off everything. So it's very cool, very convenient. We have it clicked because we park our car in the garage. So we have this one clicked, exclude home. And that's good. Otherwise, every time we would go home and park it in the garage, it would activate the security system. We'd go out to the garage to do some laundry. The security system would see us as bad guys coming out to mess with the car. So you don't really want that. So if you park outside your home though, and you wanted your car to be safe, then you would not want this checked. You would want it to lock even though you're right in front of your house because your car maybe is out on the street. So driver door unlock mode would be pretty cool if you're just always driving the car by yourself. You don't have a passenger, it's just you. That'd be good to activate that. So when you get in and out of your car, it's unlocking your driver door, but it's not unlocking all four doors. That's pretty safe. You wouldn't want to, it's just you all the time. You wouldn't want a situation where someone could just jump in your passenger side or in the back. This one is unlock on park. So maybe every time you come to a position where you're ready to get out of your car and you have this one turn blue active, then when you put it in park, all of your doors will unlock. I don't like that in particular myself. I'd rather make that decision of when I want the doors to unlock. Kind of take a look around, make sure everything's cool, everything's safe before you unlock them. We have car left open notifications, so we can turn that off. Or if your door or doors and windows are left open, your car will tell you. We have it set for excluding home though, because we want it to be unlocked when it's in the garage. You have a lock confirmation sound. So when we walk away from our car, we can hear the car do a slight honk of the horn to indicate that it's just locked itself. And then also it'll close windows when it locks itself. This is something you can use to add to your garage door opener. You have to pay a little extra for this, but you can link the account, and then from your display on your way home, you don't have to have a separate little button that you press, but you can use your Tesla display. And then lights, we talked about that. You have auto for your headlights, auto for your dome lights. I like that. When you get in and out at night, it automatically lights up when you open the door, and then it fades out. It's really nice. It doesn't just turn off, it fades out slowly. I like to use the auto cancel on my turn signal, so I'll turn into a lane, and as I turn my steering wheel straight again or finish the turn, my turn signals will turn off on their own. This is the one for controlling the auto high beam. I like having that automatically come on. These are headlights after exit. I like that when I'm home. It's dark in the garage usually, so my headlights are still on for about, I think it's like 3 minutes maybe, and they help to illuminate my door so I can unlock the door and get into the house. And then I have steering wheel lights. That's just these little lights here, and you can turn those off or have them on. If they're on at night, you can just see these little arrows illuminated to help you kind of see what's going on, so you can control these wheels for volume or these wheels for speeding up or slowing down your cruise control. Okay, so many possibilities. And remember, these settings are then individualized for me. And then my wife, who's another driver, and my son, who's another driver, have their own little changes that they can make too. So on the display, I like it to be auto in terms of how bright it is. You can do a different look, like it's on auto now, but I think if you choose dark, you have this kind of look, which is what we usually use at night, so that there's less glare, and it doesn't make your pupils all tiny, gives you better night vision. But auto just automatically will shift for you between the two. It's set for day right now. And this is on auto for brightness. If you ever want to just clean the screen, you can press this screen clean mode, and you can then clean the screen without it messing with different controls. And then when you're done, you can just press a button for, I think, maybe 5 seconds, and then it goes back to this kind of screen. So I like to use English for my language, for the screen, for recognition language, for voice navigation language. I use the 12-hour. I like to use distance, how many miles I can drive, set for miles. I like to use Fahrenheit. Tire pressure, I like to use pounds per square inch, PSI. And then trips. These are kind of cool. You can use them for your own individual situation, how long you've been driving. You can see when the last time you charged. People usually don't do too much with this for individualizing it. Navigation. I don't like the navigation to be really loud. I like to listen to the music. I like to hear the navigation. So this is where you can either block it out, or you could give it like a little bit of volume, like right there. But if you have it up here, it's so loud, it's almost distracting. So you have automatic navigation, automatically route to home, work, or next calendar event upon entry. That's super cool. If it's linked to your phone, then when you get in, it knows you're going to go to a doctor's appointment, or you're going to work, or wherever it shows on your calendar. Your navigation will pull that location up. If it's in the address on your calendar, it'll show in navigation, and as soon as you get in the car, it's already ready to bring you to that location. Trip Planner is awesome. Shows you how many superchargers you're going to need to get there and where those superchargers are. Online routing finds optional route based on traffic conditions. Maybe there's a better way to go because there's a traffic clog. You can avoid like the ferries or tolls or HOV lanes if you'd like. So now we click down to safety. We have Sentry mode is on, so that's the active security system when you leave your car. You get that really cool 2001 Space Odyssey red pulsing HAL light, just maybe scare away a bad guy because he knows he's being photographed by your video. So I have that on, which is great. I have it excluding home though, because I don't want it to be on when I'm in the garage. You could also exclude work if you needed to, if it made sense, or one of your favorite locations, or all three. So I'm using camera-based detection. I have that on. You can disable Sentry sounds, like maybe your neighbors are real sensitive about the sound that's active when your security system goes on. You don't want to wake people up. You can disable it. Mine is now active. I can hear the sounds, but if I press this, it becomes blue. Now it's disabled it. Let me turn that back off. So blue means it's on. View live camera via mobile app. That's pretty slick. You can have your mobile app on your phone, and then sometimes when we're at the beach, I'm wondering how my Tesla's doing. I'll click my app, and I can see all my cameras. I can see the front, the back, or the sides, what's going on around the car. You can even talk to somebody who's screwing with your car. You know, you could talk through your speaker system and maybe have them back off. So this is the dash cam. It's on auto. So if I honk, if there's an impending accident, the dash cam will record that incident. You can delete your dash cam clips here. You can format a USB drive so that you can record more. I think when you get your Tesla though, it already has a USB drive loaded. Can allow mobile access. That means that I can do things to the car from my app, but maybe you don't want that. You can turn that off. I like to have a pin to start the car. I have to put in a number sequence, but I like that in case something weird happened. Maybe I left my phone in the car, wasn't paying attention, and now somebody wants to take off. They have my phone, they have the Tesla. It will have power, but it won't go unless they know that 4-digit code. Also have that similar code for getting into the glove box. You have to know the code. And then this is a speed limit mode. If you turn that on, the car is not going to let you exceed a certain speed. You have a teenager driving your car, you may want to turn that on and just keep it way under the speed limit. I have the cabin overheat protection on. It's active, and at 100 degrees it will activate the air conditioner to keep the car from getting too hot, or it might open the windows to vent out the hot air. Okay, and next one is service, and that won't really pertain because that's just tire pressure information. You can do things like adjust your headlights by going up and down. Press this one and your wipers come up a little bit so you can access them to change the wiper blade. So you can do all kinds of interesting things here. Sometimes though, weird things happen, like you have to tow your car. If you press the towing button, it changes some things to make it possible to be towed. Car wash mode. Some of these car washes put your car like on a conveyor belt, and you don't want to do that to a Tesla unless you press the car wash mode first. And there's all your things in your owner's manual. And if you did a factory reset, that would basically bring everything back to its default, so you lose all your personal things, not just for you but for any of the drivers. And then this is just calibrating your driver's seat, your steering, and mirrors. And then down here we have a couple last things. Software, just tells you which software you have. You have the autopilot included package, premium connectivity. You pay a little extra for that. And I have it on advanced software. If you put it on standard, that's fine. The advanced one is as soon as it comes out, they'll send it to the update to this car. If you have it on standard, it may take a little longer. Probably better in a way to have it on standard because any bugs have probably been taken out. But I like to get the updates right away. The updates are amazing. All the new things that the car can do almost every month, some new feature. Seems like the car gets better and better. You have upgrades. So in my case, if I wanted to do another upgrade, I could do the full self-driving, and I'd just pay, if I could try it out, and just pay $200 for the month. If I wanted to do it, I just swipe that way, and I fill out a couple of things on screen, and that's it. For me though, I don't really use that. I think down the road it's probably going to be a good idea because the car will, on auto mode, will do better in the self-drive on the streets. Right now, when I tried it on the freeway, I felt it did a really good job. But when I tried it on the street, it seemed a bit precarious. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to use it yet. But I hope this helps you guys, and you can work on getting your Tesla to be very individualized. To announce our new channel membership. By joining, you're going to get some really good perks. Number one, you're going to get live help whenever you need it on your appliance problems, either by text, email, FaceTime, Zoom, whatever you want to get your appliance problem resolved. I'll be able to get you any kind of parts diagrams that you need. I'll get you really good deals on parts. I'll send links to you so you can order them and get them probably by the next day to fix your appliance. And all this is only for $4.99. So that'll save you quite a bit of money. And the whole goal of becoming a member with me is that it's going to give you a chance to save a lot of money on the types of appliance repairs that we all run into on a yearly basis. So thanks so much, and please click on the link in the description below, and that's going to allow you to join our channel today, start working on resolving your appliance problem. So thanks again.